I got sent the SP Maker FPV racing drone. Not really a racing drone, but a fun little toy nonetheless. So let's open it up and I'll show you what comes in the case. So you get the teeny tiny little quad. Comes pre-built, everything ready to go. You get 2 batteries, 350 milliamp hour 30Cs. It's taken a few hits already. You get 2 of these little Velcro-y straps to hold the battery on. You get some cable ties, not sure what they're for, and you get 2 sets of props. So one set I got on there and the other set here. This set's taken a bit of a flogging and still seems to be working alright. So props seem to last, they don't break so easily, but obviously you can buy other ones if you need other ones off the website. Let's talk a little bit about the gear that's in here. So you have the frame, they call it a 95X. In it is a Omnibus F3 flight controller with integrated Betaflight OSD, so you get all the cool Betaflight OSD features, so you can change PIDs from your controller and all that kind of stuff. It comes with a 48 channel VTX, so that is a 25 milliwatt one that's all built into the board here. So there's the camera and another board behind it. To change channels on that, they've left a little cutout in the carbon fiber here on purpose, so you can push the buttons to change the frequency and the band there. You get a choice of receiver, so you can go Team Failsafe, or you can go Friska, or you can go Futaba. So you choose that on checkout and they install it pre-installed, ready to go for you. So all you have to do is bind, and again, the bind button's just there, so they've left a nice little space for you to get to the buttons. The ESC is a 4-in-1 BL Heli S. It runs D-Shot 600, comes by that by default. Everything seems to spin the right way when you get it, and you pretty much can just bind and fly. So, and I say pretty much because the PIDs are rubbish that come default, and they send it to you with like all sorts of stuff turned on, like RSSI, which you can't get working with that FreeSky receiver. It comes with all the current stuff turned on, so for ages I tried to find out what the current settings were, and it just was giving me numbers which made no sense. And then I took it apart and I couldn't see a shunt on that tiny little board, so I doubt there actually is a current sensor. Someone might prove me wrong. You do get battery voltage on that OSD, which is probably the only thing you'll use on the actual OSD other than the tuning part of it, so keep that in mind. It comes painted purple. I didn't do that. Purple to match the purple props. It's a nice little feature because it's so tiny, like that's it in my hand. If you lose it in grass or, well, you're flying somewhere, then it would be a little bit harder to find if it was all black. But another feature which is good is it has 2 LEDs on the back, which are super bright, and a buzzer between those 2 LEDs. So I've set it up on my Tyrannus that when I pull and one of the switches, the buzzer goes off really loudly, so I can go and find it. That's about it hardware wise. You get 2 of these batteries that it comes with. I've spoken about already, the 350 milliamp hour 30Cs. I bought some 450s, which are probably too big for it. I tried to run it with the battery on the top, but it gets in the way of the antennas and diminishes your range quite substantially. So I ended up putting the battery on the bottom. It then also allows you to get better range, and it keeps the balance lead and the connector away from these tiny little props. Not like they'd cut it because they are so small, but it is good to get them away. The motors it comes with are their own brand of SPC Maker, and they are a 7,500 kV motor at 1104, so they do spin up really fast, and but they don't make much noise, so it's a pretty quiet little quad. You can buzz it around. It's not made for big spaces, so kind of aimed around flying in a small park, or maybe even inside the house if you're brave enough, or if you live in a mansion, you can fly it in a mansion. I had one fail-safe about 50 meters away from me, so do be careful about that. That little antenna obviously doesn't have the best range. You could, if you felt like it, remove the receiver that it comes with, whatever it is, and put in a full range receiver, like one of the little free, I think it's an XM FreeSky, whatever that is, it'll fit between those two plates, between the top plate and the flight controller quite easily, ready to go. One of the cool things is it obviously does come all pre-built. You can see that they've taken the liberty to put liquid electrical tape on the bottom of all the ESC tabs, so if you are flying in a moist environment and you get some water on there, you are protected. They've also filled this cavity under the camera VTX with liquid electrical tape, which is good. They've put nice little bits of heat shrink on each arm to hold the motor cables. Double check that your motor bolts are tight. A couple of mine were a bit loose, but simple to check before your first flight. Camera angle comes preset at X whatever degrees that is, probably like about 25 or 30, which is more than enough to fly around at full throttle. The camera is so wide you'll see everything anyway, and it is a weird camera the way it shoots. You do feel like you're flying in a fishbowl. I will upload my final Betaflight settings that I've saved to. The BL Heli S was an old version, like 16.4, so I updated that to 16.6, and Betaflight was also a couple of versions old, so I've updated that as well. And the ESCs will obviously detect the BL Heli version, and the flight controller is just Omnibus F3, which is the same as all the Omnibus stuff which comes out of Banggood. Great little frame. I highly recommend it. It's a fun little toy. You won't be racing drones with this thing. You'll just be flying it for fun when you feel like something different. It does move quite fast. It is quite small, so if you do fly far away from yourself and you end up in a bush, just be careful because you might not find it. So I suggest turning the LEDs on and using the buzzer feature, because the buzzer is really loud. You'll definitely hear the buzzer. If I plug it into the computer quickly, you might hear the let's turn this on and then I'll get the buzzer. So there you can actually see the LEDs. So if I point the LEDs at that camera, you can see how bright the LEDs are. Up at this one, very bright LEDs, and I'm not sure if you can change their color. I haven't fiddled with that too much. That's the buzzer, so I've set that on a switch, so you'll easily find that in the bush somewhere. One thing to note is when you do plug in USB, it does power the VTX as well, because the VTX is set to run off whatever voltage. So there you go, there's the picture coming out of that guy. You can see pretty, not bad, you know, good little, point it around, get a bit of a feel for what it looks like. I'll obviously upload some DVR so you can get a bit of a view of what it looks like while it's flying and the quality of the VTX. Yeah, so I hope this review helps. If you've got any questions about it, please feel free to ask. If you know anything else about it, like the current sensor stuff, let me know. I can't see a shunt in there anyway. I've looked everywhere, I've taken it apart. I don't think it does current settings, even though it comes with current settings turned on, it comes with SD card turned on, it comes with telemetry turned on, all by default. Obviously, that stuff isn't correct. Like that was misleading to me, so I'm going to suggest that they upload a new default file onto all their boards that they ship. I don't know where they're obviously using their file which they'd normally use on their proper Omnibus F3 Betaflight things, which have an SD card and all that kind of stuff ready to go. Again, hope this helps. If there's any questions, just shout out. If anyone's flying them, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. If anyone's got any upgrade suggestions, I'd be interested to see your thoughts as well. They're always out of stock on Banggood because they come pre-built, so obviously they can't build them as quick as they can sell them, and rightly so. They're a good little toy, fun little toy. So get out, fly it, have fun.